with kids can be a challenge. Crafting with anybody who's maybe not a crafter can be quite the challenge. Hey guys, May Flom here, and today what I want to show you is I want to show you how I am making cards with teenagers, with kids, preteens, adult friends who don't really craft, and I'm using up my stash of scraps. So to get started, here's what we're going to do. And if you're watching this and going, okay, well, I just like to make cards, guys, this is for everybody, absolutely everybody. So I've got some papers here. I'm working with Shimelle Starshine papers mostly. Honestly, I was working with papers that I'd already cut into, that I'd already used pieces of, that have scraps. So this is a great way to use up your scraps. And what I like to do for these friends is create a card, much like the one I'm about to create here for you, and show them this as a formula. Give them this set. Here's the formula that we're going to work with. Go wild. And so it gives them some creative freedom while at the same time gives them enough structure that they're not just sitting there staring at papers going, I have no idea, lady, what do you want me to do? So the first thing off is I start by having them make the main embellishment. To do that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to tear a strip of paper. We're going to just kind of build our own little embellishment here, and we're going to get a little funky, a little crazy. I love cutting out my own shapes. I love using, I have a scan and cut. I like to use that. But sometimes I'll just use my own hands. I'll just cut it out myself. It really depends on what I've got going on, and I'm seeing some paper back here I like. So we're going to bring this in. I really am going to be super funky with this, guys. And I will show them this exactly like I'm showing it here now. You know, just take some strips of things that you like. If you're crunched on time, or maybe you're trying to have a little more structure, what you can certainly do is, instead of have this part done, have this part set, have it done, and say, okay, you know, we're going to start from here. So the funnest part, in my opinion, is that I'm going to fold this over, take a pair of scissors, and I'm going to start bigger than I think I need. I'm going to go with a heart because I love hearts. Hearts and me were friends. And no, that's, you know, it's kind of about heart. That's okay, guys, because watch. We're just going to repeat this. If you had a paper punch, if you had an electronic die cutting machine, there's a lot of options out there for you to make this a little more precise. Now that I've got this though, I like it. If I wanted to add details to it, I certainly could, but what I'm gonna go with instead is picking out a contrasting paper and start assembling. I like to give everybody a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 standard card size. And then of course we've got our heart. And it doesn't have to be a heart. Like I said before, if you have paper punch, die cut machines, stuff like that, please go ahead and use those up. I'm just trying to show you this can also be super low tech. And then I've got this paper, and I like both sides, so watch. We're gonna tear it and flip it. I like both sides, and I'm just trying to decide if I want the papers to go with the heart, or yeah, you know what? I like them with the heart. So what you might notice though is that my heart is almost exactly the size of my card. If that happens and you're not happy with it, this is why ever since I was a little girl, I love making paper hearts, because you can just trim it up. And if you do like me and you have one part not quite right, just take little steps. Don't go huge. Don't go making huge grand gestures. Just take little steps to trim a little bit, trim a little bit. This would be when electronic cutting would be faster, but hey, we can be low tech too. So then I'm just going to get some adhesive and start gluing. I'll give people a formula. So for example, for this one, you're going to pick 2 pieces of paper, glue them across the middle, either direction. You're going to have your main shape. So 1, 2, 3, and we're working on a card front so that if somebody messes up and just hates theirs, they can take this and it can just become Yeah, that's right. It just becomes a template for making or punching more shapes. So there's no pressure at all. We're totally relaxed here. No, no undue crafty pressure. So then I've got some ink here. I'm just taking tape off it because I have a tendency to lose lids. So I like to tape, sometimes if I'm traveling around, I tape the lids on. And I'm just going to give it a little rub. This is just navy blue dye ink. This one happens to be Lawn Fawn. Any brand would work. And you don't even need to do this. This is just something I like to do because it creates some contrast. But the other thing it's going to do is going to add a little messy fun. And I do like a little messy fun with my crafting. Now, the one thing, of course, you're going to be careful while that ink is wet, well, before it sets, maybe just set that aside and trim up, go ahead and trim up your card front. And this is where I cut it loose and this gets really fun because now we're into anything can happen. So for example, some of my Shimelle decorative tape, look how pretty these are. Love these. Maybe we're gonna get some of these out. I could put it above, around, below, so many options. I think I'm leaning towards under because I really do want that heart to pop up. So I'm going to put it across the bottom where it'll be seen the most. And I'm just going to tear it off. This stuff is so much fun. It's already sticker back and it is like, you know, it's washi. So it's semi-sheer and it's really cute stuff. So because I'm working on a front, I can just fold it over. So much fun, you guys. And then for this, I'm just going to grab some foam adhesive. If you've got whatever foam adhesive you've got, that's fine. You can skip this and use regular adhesive. I just like it to I like it to stand out a little more. And I tend to hand deliver more cards versus mail, so I don't mind a little bit of dimension either. And let's see. I'm going to put this right here. And yes, we're assembled. So this is where it gets really fun. Even more so than I'm already having such a blast making this, guys. I love crafting with people that don't normally craft, especially when I can give them a formula like this and say, okay, make a shape, glue 3 things, adhere it together. Okay, but here comes the big one. Now what? Well, you've got options. I love having options. I am a big fan of having the options. You can really decide whatever you'd like. If you'd like to add, if you want to have, let's see, you could have stamps, you could have printed out sentiments, you could have, would advise handwriting just because that freaks a lot of people out. But you have various options that you can go with a sentiment. As far as how to place that sentiment, again, you always have options, but I would lean towards, I'm just going to show you a couple of different things. I would lean towards one of a few things. Number one, you could have the sentiment down here going across. Number two, you could cut a strip, obviously a little fancier than this, and have it go across like a banner. Okay, we could even get really super fancy and bend our paper so that we have like a super fancy banner. Okay, something like that. And we could notch the other end as well so that they match. That would be another such option. If you have a sticker, stickers are fantastic. If you have some, like here's some, let's see, these are Pink Fresh Studio. These are a little big for cards. They're a little bulky, but if you have little stickers or word stickers, alphabet stickers, that's actually what I'm going to do. I'm going to use alphabet stickers, 2 letters, H-I, high. So lots and lots of options. I present all these to you because depending on what you have at home and you want to work with, it may change, or who you're crafting with perhaps, it may change what precisely you want to do. I've got some big chunky letters, so I'm going H-I. These are some cute, cute thickers. So what I will do is take a look at where do I feel like it would be best suited. And I'm thinking, and I could be wrong here. Yep, I'm wrong. I was thinking they would be good off the heart, but in fact, I think they'll be better. It's going to be too hard because of the way that's slanted. So I'm going to put those on there. Now I have some bright blue glitter glue stickles. This is called Twilight. It's a little bright for this, but I have a couple other colors as well that I think would perhaps work. And in fact, I think this one's called Frozen. I think that might be a better fit. Just a little more aqua. That's a lot of fun. But wait, let's keep playing. Another really fun thing to do when you're crafting is, of course, have some embellishments. So I've got some of my buttons and beads and things. And although I don't know where that came from. And what I am going to do here is I'm just going to pick a few of them out. That star's way too big. And I'm going to make a little cluster. So at this point, if I was crafting with people who maybe are new, I would say add little embellishments wherever you would like. I would probably, honestly, I'd have 2 or 3 examples sitting out so they could just kind of see what I did, and then I would say go wild. Now, one of the things you're going to see right away is that because of the way I designed this, because of the foam adhesive under there, I'm able to tuck buttons underneath. So instead of just being limited to what fits and what looks good on top, I'm not limited at all. I can do absolutely anything with any of the beads or sequins or buttons or whatever else crazy stuff I dream up and come up with here from my stash. And I absolutely love that. I also absolutely love being able to work with, oh look, I've got an earring in here. You guys, I have got to clean this place up just a little bit better, I think. Anyhow, there's so many fun details that I can get into now with color choices, with playing, and this is really where I start to see people come alive, especially when I've worked with teenage groups before. You know, this is a spot where they get really excited because now they know what to do. Okay, I'm going to build, you know, I have this sketch or this formula for my card, and now I can play, and now I can have a lot of fun and make it my own, do it my own way, go off and run in my own adventure. And then I start hearing things like, oh, I can totally do this. Oh, I have more ideas or have new ideas. So it's really, to me, about getting creativity started, just getting those sparks. And guys, you know what? It works for me as well. I certainly have, and this is one of them, I certainly have little recipes that I use upon myself where I keep them, you know, in mind so that should I feel less than motivated, less than inspired, I can look and go, oh yeah, that's a great one. Let's do that. And one other thing I'm just going to mention here is I'm going to go up and down this side a little more and that side a little bit, which is going to create kind of a visual triangle because that will become one line and points there. Not that you have to be visual triangle and rule follower or anything like that. You certainly don't. You do whatever you like, but I'm just telling you what I am up to and why I'm going to extend one side much farther than the other. And those two are the same kind of buttons, so I'm not going to use 2 of the same. Oh, that's a sparkly one. I do love my sparkly buttons. I've got a navy blue. Oh, we've already got a navy blue. So I'm trying to kind of mix and match the styles as well as sizes here so that I don't end up, I'm being way too picky at this moment. I'll just tell you that. If I was taking my own class, I would be telling myself I needed to stop being so picky and just make a choice. But what can I say? I'm having a lot of fun with it. And end of the line, end of the road, end of the day, bottom line, all of that good stuff, it's all about having some fun. And that's what matters. If everybody's having a good time, if you're having a good time, then it's been a success. You've done it. Give yourself a pat on the back. All right, well, I am just going to add a few more little details here, but before I do, one more little thing that I want to show you here is what I'm going to do here with these. With the stickles, I'm going to do a couple things. First of all, I'm going to go in, and in the couple of spots where there's a gap, I'm just going to put a little dollop. Not a lot, but if there's a little gap, I'm just going to, or kind of an awkward spot, I'm going to put a little dollop. And then what I'm going to do is just run like so. Yes, it's messy. No, it's not perfect. It's supposed to be fun, and I always like embracing my inner child crafty fun whenever I'm creating. All right, and I'll bring you in here a little bit closer. I'm just going to finish up with a few more embellishments here and there because, guys, I just can't seem to stop. I'm having a lot of fun with this, and I love how my one big element, my heart, which, by the way, is just using up scraps, which is always a favorite thing of mine to do. But I'm just having fun with adding little beads, adding little pearls, sequins, bits and pieces, having so much fun with this, and that this is totally a project that I could share with our Girl Scout troop, with my teenage niece, with her friends, with whoever feels like crafting with this lady right here. And to me, sharing the love of crafting, it's all about that. That's whenever I get to do that, it's always a good day. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope I've inspired you. If you have any questions, feel free to leave me a comment over on YouTube. I'll see you next time.